Hello YouTube, I'm Michelle Nichols and I'm a photographer out of Boise, Idaho, and today I'm bringing you a video on how to price yourself for profit. Yes, let's make some money today. My first step for you guys today to quit pulling numbers out of thin air and actually make this work for you is you gotta do the math. I know, let the groans begin, but you gotta do the math. So number one is I want you to get a pen and paper and write down all your family bills, your personal bills. So this is your own rent or mortgage, utilities, gas, groceries. You need to figure out how much it costs your family to live. So I think the average cost of living for a small family in Idaho, at least in the Boise area, is about $4,000 a month. And let's be generous and say that your spouse or you have a significant other that contributes half of that. So you need to come up with about $2,000 right now. So that's step number one. Number two is you gotta do the math again. This time you gotta figure out the cost of doing business. What it costs your business to run without going into debt. So that is like website fees, education, workshops, equipment fees, subscriptions you might be subscribed to. You gotta figure out, and then if you have a studio space, your rent and mortgage on that one, or your rent on that one as well. So you gotta figure in all of that. So let's just be generous for the sake of this example and say that you work from home, your overhead costs are pretty low, and we're about $500 a month. So that's what it takes for your business to run without going into debt. So now we've got $2,000 plus $500, so we are sitting at $2,500 is what you need to make a month to survive. So let's say that you charge about $500 a session. And this is where I strongly encourage you to have collections instead of just having your clients buy from an a la carte. For many reasons, but that's a whole other video. But for the sake of this video, it makes it a lot easier because you know how much they're gonna pay every time. Especially in an unstable career, you need as much stability. Well, we need as much stability as we can get, right? So let's say you have a middle package of $500, that's the most popular. So you get to pocket $500 from a recession, right? So wrong. I think this is where beginning photographers struggle the most. When you have a $500 session, you are not bringing that full $500 home because Uncle Sam, yep, basically a third of your income goes straight to taxes. It sucks, but you gotta do it. You're gonna have to figure out how much your income tax is for your state, roughly across the board. I think it's about 25%, 25 to 30, but we'll keep it at 25%. And then you also need to figure out if your state requires you to do sales and use tax. I'm from Idaho and it does. So that's another 6% I have to factor into. So right off the bat, I have to subtract 31% from 500. So 31% of 500 is $155. So 500 minus 155 is $345. All right, that's not bad. I get to take home, $345, right? Wrong. Step number 4 is your cost of goods. And this again is where your collections are gonna come in very handy. You need to know how much it costs you to make the products you're selling. How much does it cost to print an album, to make prints, to do an accordion album, any boutique items you might have to sell? How much does it cost you to make those and ship them to you and package them? Do not forget those steps. It still costs you money to ship and to package every order, right? So we need to know per client how much it costs us to produce. So let's be generous and say it's about $100. So now we take $345, we minus 100, and we're sitting at $245. So finally you're like, surely Michelle, I get to take that home, right? Almost. My last step for you, number 5, and it's very important and I urge you to do this. Again, young photographers tend not to do this, but this will cripple you if you don't start doing it. Number 5 is pay your business and then pay yourself. Put at least 10% back into your business. Because you want to grow, right? I mean, you want to upgrade your equipment eventually. You want to have education like workshops, and you want to maybe try a new product, or you need samples. Your business will need that income. So I would take about 10% at least when you're starting off. If you're a bigger business, probably 70-30 is a better ratio. But for this example, we'll say 10%. So 10% of $245 is $24.50. And then finally, it's payday for you. Write your check for a grand total of $220.50. So that might seem a little depressing to some of you, but I hope that's an eye-opener on how you need to be pricing yourself. Now let's go back to that original number we worked on earlier, which is you need to bring in $2,500 a month. So then we take that $2,500 and we divide it by 220.50, and that equals about 11. And that's gonna equal how many clients you need a month. And then we can go into how much time you spend on client and yada, yada, yada. That's a whole other video, but at least you get the gist of it. So let's recap. Number 1, figure out the cost of living for your family. Number 2, figure out the cost of doing business every month, what it takes your business to run every month without going into debt. Number 3, taxes. You need to set aside at least 30% or a third of your income for taxes. Number 4 is cost of goods. Figure out how much it costs you every time someone buys from you. And number 5, pay your business and then pay yourself. So I know that was a very crash course into pricing your photography, but I hope that gives you an idea of where you need to be to price yourself for serious profit. So if you have questions, please leave them in the comments below. It's hard because everyone has so many different variables, like I said, but you've got to do the math if you want to be successful. All right guys, if you are looking for a little bit more help, if you sign up for my monthly newsletter, I'll leave the link down in the down bar below. I will give you a free download that lists all these steps today and also a breakdown of what you should include in your cost, such as rent, utilities, gas, groceries. I listed all for you to give you kind of a jump start. So if that's something you're interested in, just sign in below and I'll send that right to your inbox. And don't forget to follow me on social media if you want to connect or ask me questions there as well. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.